start by saying that you gentlemen are awesome. Which part of the offense will be more dominant against Maryland, run or pass? Kevin, what do you think?
Well, let me turn my mic back on. The reality is what is Ohio State's pass or run offense going to look like? I mean, who is going to be able to tote the rock? I mean, we certainly heard Ryan Day come out and say yesterday, Trevion Henderson, Chip Traynham, Mayan Williams, expecting to have 2 of the 3 back. I would expect that we're not going to see Mayan Williams in this situation. Hearing myself. We're going to, I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Dallin Hayden, probably some Chip Traynham, maybe throw in a little Trevion Henderson there. I think that Maryland is really susceptible to the run, but I think that Ohio State is going to get out there and just throw the ball and try and get this one over with. Try and get it in hand, and then at that point you can sit there and say, okay, Chip, okay, Dallin, just take us home. Let's start Michigan week here, the start of the 4th quarter, and get onto it. The orange slice is already cut up in the locker room. We've got your little pizzas ready and your little soft shell crabs to take you to the airport, and let's get out of here. But I think that we're going to see a lot of, unless the weather goes south on us, which it doesn't look like it's going to. I think we're going to see a lot of passing.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of both, because I don't know how long Maryland's offense will be out on the field. They've been terrible the last 2 weeks. Now, Talia Tagovailoa has been hurt, so maybe as he gets healthier and healthier, they're able to do more. But I think Ohio State will be able to do what they want. I'm interested to see how much Dallin Hayden plays, how much Trevion Henderson plays. And Dallin Hayden, he already has 2 100-yard rushing games, which is the same number as Trevion Henderson this year. If he gets a third, he'll have as many as Trevion Henderson had last year as a true freshman when he rushed for 1,200 yards. And so when they've needed Dallin Hayden, he's produced. And I think he's shown that he can be a guy that, you got Chip, you got Xavier Johnson, you got Dallin Hayden. That's enough for Maryland. But I'm interested to see if they want to get Trevion Henderson, just a little bit of run. I'm not expecting Mayan Williams to go this week, though.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys were saying. The weather for Saturday looks like 45 with no rain at College Park. So we saw last week that C.J. Stroud was able to throw the ball pretty effectively. The last 2 weeks, I don't think the conditions were very good when they played Wisconsin. And that was like a 23-10 game. And then last week, Penn State won 30-0 against Maryland and kind of blew them out. So, I can't say if they're more susceptible to the run or the pass. They're probably about middle of the road in both. They just don't seem or feel like they're finishing the season on a high note. And now 30-point underdog at home to an Ohio State team that the last 2 times these teams have played, the Buckeyes have been in the 60s or 70s in terms of points, as if Ryan Day was trying to prove something or embarrass somebody. Almost, it seems, in these last 2 matchups. They didn't play at Maryland in 2020 because of COVID. So we'll see. It could be a little bit different matchup out there, and maybe Maryland will play marginally better than it has the last 2 weeks, when it basically flatlined against Wisconsin, and certainly did last week against Penn State. So, they need to put up a little bit better of a fight, or they're going to get blown out again.
Ryan, thank you so much for the contribution again. Appreciate that. Flipping to the other side of the ball, let me say again how highly I think of all of you. All right. What level of the defense will be the most dominant this week against Maryland? Steve, will keep you on the mic, considering Talia Tagovailoa typically puts up some of the more prolific passing stats in the conference, but the last 2 weeks, under 50%, like 75 yards per game. So on the defensive side, Steve, what do you think the Buckeyes will bring this week?
Yeah, I don't think Maryland's a real strong running team. I think they tend to go much more with the pass, and if they fall behind 7, 10, 14, 20 points early, that's all they're going to be doing after that is Tagovailoa this and Tagovailoa that. He was sacked 7 times last week against Penn State. His offensive line was a sieve, and they could not protect him at all. So Ohio State's defensive line's got to be kind of licking their chops. The Buckeyes had 4 sacks this past week against Indiana, and Jack Sawyer, his big coming out day with 1.5 sacks. And we know that JT Tuimoloau a few weeks ago had that big game against Penn State. Zach Harrison has been very capable. Ty Hamilton's coming on. Michael Hall's already, proven some things earlier in the year. So this front for Ohio State seems like it is starting to play some of its best football of the season. And I don't think that bodes well for Mr. Tagovailoa and his health in the short term. So I look at it that, the Buckeyes are probably going to do pretty well. I know overall in total offense, Maryland is 63rd. They are 70th in scoring offense, but those numbers were a lot better 2 or 3 weeks ago before they basically did nothing the last 2 weeks. I mean, when I say nothing, they had 9 first downs, I think, in the game against Wisconsin and like 150 yards total offense or something stupid like that. So, yeah, it seems like they've packed it in. They got their bowl bid and play Rutgers next week to get to 7 wins, and that'll be that.